last division to cover. This one was a little chaotic as well, but probably not as much as the Metro. We've got the Better Edge Atlantic division. BetterEdge.com/SotaPod. Free $20 at sign up. No deposit required. Free legal, not free, I guess, but legal betting in Minnesota, which is unheard of unless you guys know something I don't. First place by consensus, Toronto Maple Leafs. Isha is thrilled.
Gross.
Number 2, the Buffalo Sabres.
Wow.
Yeah.
I definitely did not go them at 2.
No, we'll see where this
That
goes.
was a mistake, Seth. That was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
Boy, oh boy,
This is the answer key, Seth. You're wrong.
Yep.
Really did not have any faith in Jordan Greenway this year.
Tied at 3, Boston Bruins and Tampa Bay Lightning. Number 5, Florida Panthers. Number 6, Ottawa Senators. 7, Detroit Red Wings. 8, Montreal Canadiens. So clearly Seth has issue with the Buffalo Sabres at 2. Anyone else have any concerns what we got here?
Tampa at 3. I don't know about that one. I put them lower, probably.
Lower?
Yeah. You want to go?
It's going to be fun.
I mean, I could see Toronto or Boston being lower than Tampa.
No, Tampa, I think, I'd put them at 5 or 6.
Well, how did they get that much worse this year compared to Boston?
I'm just done with them.
You're just done with them.
Just done with them.
By any chance, the old balls?
There's some old balls on that team too. Yeah.
Drunk words or sober thoughts?
They are. I mean, they are.
Oh,
all right.
Man.
Well, let's just get right into it then. Here we have the Atlantic Division, as chosen by the panel of esteemed people.
Fuck Montreal, dude. I love this. Fuck the Canadiens.
Oh my god.
Oh, except sorry, Jessi.
Hey, I'm questioning myself with that one, but that's fine. It's fine. It's all fine.
I personally love Jessi's rankings. I personally am a big fan of how she did this.
It's just mass chaos, just absolute chaos on that board. Like I was thinking, I'm like, I hope I didn't put Boston 1. Nope, I did. So that's good.
No. You hope you did. You hope you did.
You guys put
V
Tampa
didn't even
at
put
2.
the number 1.
Everyone
why
except
not?
for you and Dev, who admittedly gave us his rankings in between diaper changes. So
Oh my god.
he's
So we
basically
were
got the
both in
same
the shit.
excuse as you.
Yeah.
Toxic fumes.
Mateo's saying Bruins are still top 2 teams. So there you go. Mateo's in your corner as well.
I mean, they're obviously not going to repeat what they accomplished during the regular season last year, but I don't know. It'll be fine.
Why is that
Well,
obvious?
yeah, I mean, I also don't think like any team would. Like it's It's like people are like, well, can they do what they did last year? It's like, well, the answer is pretty universally like no,
right,
because it's never been done before. So
yeah,
I don't know. Like I'm again big fan of where you have the Bruins. I would love that for me.
Yeah.
So I think everyone should else.
I did it for you actually. I was like, you know what, Spokes here. I'm gonna throw him a bone.
Thank you very
Go
much.
with the bees. You're
Appreciate
welcome.
Yeah,
Love
see, you
Travis
hate
Boyle.
them. You put them at 3. Why
Yeah,
are they so
I mean,
high?
I still think like I actually still like their roster a lot. Again, it's just a fact. I've never really like been alive and able to understand what's going on since Patrice Bergeron. Like I've never had a Bruins list or a Patrice Bergeron list Bruins like in terms of just like how long I've been watching them like with my memory. So I don't even know what that looks like, and it makes me very nervous, obviously, with the center position. Like when you're staring at like Charlie Coyle as your number 1 center. But the thing with them is their MO every single year, as long as they've been a franchise, is they have a top 5 defense every single year. And they've got 2 very good goalies. So they're in every game, like every season, even those 2 years that they didn't make the playoffs, they were still, I think they missed by like 2 and 4 points because their defense was so strong. Like McAvoy is legitimately unbelievable. Hampus Lindholm had a monster year. Like even the addition of Shattenkirk gives them like a better power play option too. So the fact that they've got solid goaltending and a defense that rarely gives up more than 2-3 goals in a game, the fact that they have that, and then they have a kid like David Pastrnak, I think James Van Riemsdyk will help and chip in, like, again, some power play scoring too. Brad Marchand's still there. Like,
I'm
they've
worried
got
about the leadership
in them. I love that. People
I
are like,
love that move. It's so good.
It's so great.
That's-
So great.
I hope he logs back onto Twitter, creates his new Twitter account, because I need to just start randomly getting bored and carving people. It's so fun. Like,
I've got plenty of comments.
I need to hear more about his love affair with Mitch Marner. That's you guys
It's
highlighted
so
that in the last
funny.
episode. That was amazing.
every single time the Bruins are going to Toronto, Brad Marchand is like salivating for media day because he just has every single time. Like, it's unbelievable. The talk before every Bruins Leafs game in Toronto is like, what do you think Brad Marchand meant when he said that Mitch Marner was his favorite player in the NHL? Like, what do you think? Why do you think Brad Marchand came out to the media and said that he thinks Mitch Marner should make $15 million a year? Why do you think, like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And
Why does
Marchand's
Mitch
just
tell
literally
him
laughing.
about his dog on the ice?
That's the best. He's like, yeah, no one really likes to get into it. Mitch just runs around talking about his dog and video games. Those terrible skates he's got. I don't know. He's my favorite player in the NHL, though. And the media just shits themselves. It's unbelievable every time.
Beautiful.
He's the best. I love
They
that
can't
guy.
help themselves.
Again, unfortunately, I do think Toronto is a cut above the entire division. But
In the
they do
postseason
the same
as
thing they
well, or
do every
just in the
year, though.
regular season.
I have no idea, honestly. Like, yeah, I need to see them actually play with every year. They bring in so many new players, and they did it at the deadline too, where they just bring in like new guys at every major position, and it feels like it just never gels right. So I don't know how that'll go. I think a guy like Tyler Bertuzzi is going to thrive in a big market. Like, he came to Boston and immediately was just loving life. It was a
For Wild fans, can you talk about the addition to their second pairing on the blue line?
Second, oh my God, the best defenseman in the league, dude. He's the best. No one's better.
Clearly better than Kalen Addison.
I love that they everyone's for like, even if you don't watch a Leafs game, everyone's always like, well, they just need to improve that defense. It's not necessarily all that true, to be honest with you, in the first place, because they still don't give up a ton anyways. But the fact, like, in my head, it's very funny if that is true. Their one addition was John Klingberg to really just shore up that back end.
4.5.
Really just start deleting these scoring chances against. I don't know what we'll do. Let's bring in Klingberg. It'll be fine.
I'll never forget Russo's blurb. I forget what show he was on talking about Klingberg, and he's like, it was far and away some of the worst defenseman play I've ever seen covering this team. Like, okay.
I'm telling you,
Kalen Addison.
it's like, if you want to torture yourself but have a sense of humor, I just urge people to like just watch every John Klingberg shift, because he literally forgets where he is on the ice and just starts floating and watching the puck. He's like, oh shit, all right. And then he's like in the neutral zone as the puck's going in. He's like, how did I get over here? I don't even fucking know. It's beautiful.
He's
It's my favorite shit in the world.
He's like when you're playing NHL and your controller disconnects and
Yeah.
the player just like glides.
Every time. That's how I described it. He disconnected
where I'm
his
supposed to
fucking
be.
remote. Yeah, it's unbelievable. He just like
no.
just slowly goes off screen. Like, it's like he just disappears. It's
Seth,
like,
it's when you
where is
accidentally select the defenseman when you think you're selecting the winger, and then you like start going the wrong direction.
That's the best. But he'll bring them the cup now because he's on there to shore up that back end that apparently needs
naturally.
help. But I'm telling you though, every year they bring in a ton of new players, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like Toronto in general just has like a market, but like it seems like it just never really works. But that being said, I think the guys they bring are a little bit different than usual. So I still think they might easily win this division.
Isha's just thrilled that we've spent this much time talking about the Leafs,
No, because fucking foul one's in the chat right here, like trolling me too. Like, god damn it.
All right, Isha, you tell us why Dev and Jessi are wrong and the Tampa Bay Lightning are a good team.
Oh, I mean, other than very, very minor tweaks that I can't even think of off the top of my head, like they haven't made any change where they actually suffered some injuries last year. Probably a little bit of just playoff fatigue, and I think they'll get right back to it this year. I mean, the roster is still incredible. They still have the same core. The chemistry isn't hampered at all. With Hedman healthy, I think that's going to be massive, obviously, for the back end. And Stamkos in a contract year, so you know he's going to put up 60.
An angry contract year, apparently. Not good. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That vocal immediately before the season even started.
I love it.
70 points, sorry. Or 70 goals. 70 goals.
All right, boys. I'm going to sneak away to take my kid to hockey, but I'm going to defend my Montreal pick because I don't know what I did there. I know I can't name one fucking player besides Cole Caulfield on the Canadiens, so I have no
Martin
idea.
St. Louis is a really good player still, right?
Just, like, I'm like, what the hell is... So, go Canadiens. Love it. Love you guys.
Really wish we would have talked.
That's a solid defense. Defense of that pick. I like that you said you were going to defend it, and you're like, I don't fucking know anyone on the team.
On the team. I was like, I can't defend that.
They don't have John Klingberg.
They don't have John Klingberg. That's true.
Start.
Right?
That's a good spot.
Yep. And Ottawa's the worst of those Canadian teams, so that's just standard. We'll see. All right, boys. Have fun. Always good chat with you.
Jessi.
Appreciate you, Jessi.
Bye.
No Tito's tonight.
Guys, Jessi Pierce, go check out her podcast, Bar Down Beauties. Go check out her work with NHL.com, and she writes for various outlets as well, covering the Minnesota Wild. Super active on social media, all social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Bar Down Beauties are also on YouTube. We will link everyone's stuff, Seth's as well, and even Dev in the description of this live stream and the clips moving forward. She is awesome. Yes, indeed.
A+.
We got a few comments in the live chat. Should we fire through them here, boys? Derek's here. No. Will Goligoski play in 25% of the Wild games this season?
I mean, it's got to be pretty much 50-50 between him and Merrill now.
You'd hope, but...
I don't hope that at all.
Well, you would hope that it doesn't cut into Addison's time, but when have we been right about that?
Yeah, that's true.
Who plays more games, Goose or Addison?
If it's not Addison, I will.
We riot. We riot.
I will delete Twitter if X. If Addison plays fewer games and he's healthy, I will delete my Twitter account. Oh, fuck X.
Fallon saying, I just had to pay my season tickets. He's in Toronto. 2 weeks ago, I'm eating ramen for the year.
You bought season tickets?
He's a regular season ticket holder.
Can I fly on your jet?
Again, telling a Goose is old.
What?
Jessi brought me here. That's awesome, Urban. Awesome. Big shout out to Jessi. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else we want to debate on this, or should I remove this from the screen?
Well, either way, I am very fascinated by where the Panthers will finish. They could either be great and finish top 3, top 2, or they could literally just completely fall off. That's the one team that I was I actually have no clue,
dude,
where this team's gonna end up, especially how injured they are too to start the year.
That really hurt the Bruins last year.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think that I'm very scared that people think Bobrovsky is a top goalie again now, when that was very much lightning in a bottle, in my opinion. But
didn't even start the playoffs, and then it randomly came in for however many game stint and lit it up.
And we do need to have Isha discuss number 1 Buffalo Sabres.
Oh, I just think their roster is incredible. They got a lot of good young guys who seem super comfortable in the National Hockey League, and every team like this pops eventually, and it's going to be this year for them, and they're gonna show that they can hang with the likes of the Lightning and Leafs, and in my prediction, surpass them in the top of the division. Dude, like you look at their forward depth, it's insane. It's unbelievable.
They got a perennial 3-goal scorer in Jordan Greenway.
Dude, but the fact that they're gonna put Jordan Greenway third, maybe even fourth line, dude, that's awesome. That's where he needs to be. Skinner doesn't have to get all the big matchups anymore. You got the likes of these young studs like Cousins and Thompson. And again, Middlestat, he never became what people project him to be, but he's still not bad. And you put him as a depth player again, you have some depth scoring there. Again, I have their forward group up in cap friendly here, and it's unbelievable. And then you look at the defense side of things. I mean, Rasmus Dahlin is, in my opinion, one of the best defensemen in the National Hockey League. He's going to daddy every single opponent he faces. He's going to make everybody look silly. He already is fully healthy this season, cannot wait. And they don't have names as big as him on the defense other than him, but they have, again, really good depth and guys who don't make too many big defensive mistakes. And again, they have some of them are pretty young. It's not like a very old defense core either. And they have goaltending that people say might be some of the best young goaltending in the league. So again, they're young, which is kind of a dice roll, but every young team that the managers have built around with some veteran players who continue to not make mistakes, put up points. I mean, if you look at this team on paper, they have every opportunity to succeed, and I just think this is the year that they pop.
I just love hearing about Rasmus Dahlin going back to the bench and getting chirped by the opposing team, going out the very next shift and just burying the first person that comes across him. He is unhinged in the best way.
Babyface savage, dude.
Fun to watch.
Babyface savage. He
Wild
is
killer.
He's so good. He's so good.
Didn't he single-handedly win one of those? That's one of those games against the Wild. He basically single-handedly won.
Yeah, incredible. So yeah, there's my explanation. And the only other thing, I mean, on my rankings here, it's Florida, Detroit, Boston.
You
think
love Detroit.
Yeah, I do. Probably a little too high on them, but again, good young core. Do I really think they're going to make the playoffs this year? No, but them and Florida could be interchangeable.
Sherratt Petrie as a second pairing is something.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I got, boys.
What a defense. What a defense of the pick.
I don't think Ole Mata's in their projected starting six, though, so that's at least progress.
That's good.
They made a couple. Again, I've said this before.
They're center signings.
People can, if it ends up somehow working out, people can chirp me all they want. I don't believe in the Yzer plan anymore. It's crazy. Some of these fucking sites, JT Comfort, $5.1 million for 6 years. They gave fucking Andrew Cobb the 5-year deal at 5.6. There are a couple that I really do like bringing in Klim Kostin, Daniel Sprong.
Kostin and Sprong I liked.
Sprong I like a lot.
DeBrincat.
The DeBrincat. I actually don't hate the Goss's Bear move at all because he signed for 1 year and he's been great in Arizona too.
Yeah.
But some of the move, I don't understand it. He's giving big money and term, and I love both players, but the big ones were Comfort and Cobb, and then what's his face on the back end there, Sherratt.
Sherratt was the weird one.
Sherratt, literally, they started the year last year paired up. They had him with Sider, and Sider did essentially nothing until they moved to have him play with Wallman, and then he started playing phenomenal again. So now you've got Sherratt for this year, and then 2 more at 4.75, and no one's going to take that from you. No one's taking that contract out.
I mean, mostly because Arizona's actually trying to win hockey now. So
he also has a modified no trade, which is insane.
it's still so fun to go and look at
10 teams.
the cap friendly for Arizona and see like 3 guys that are on the LTIR and just be like, God damn it. Like,
Yeah.
it'll never go away. I don't know. I think Yzerman is another version of Jim Rutherford where, like, when it comes to signing free agents, absolute dipshit. But for Rutherford, it's trades. Guy was a monster. Yzerman still crushes the draft for the most part. But as soon as they go into free agency, it's just an absolute disaster.
It's almost as if you'd like somebody to just take his money away and say, no, don't spend this.
We got Big Daddy Dev.
What's up, Dev?
Yo, what up?
Hi,
We got
Dad.
Connor here too. He's here
Hey,
making his podcast debut.
Sota Pod debut.
Start
Is
him
his
out.
middle name Bedard or McDavid?
No comment.
Thank God he looks more like his mother.
That the ironic part is he looks exactly like I did when I was a baby.
I can't even see him. I just wanted to call you ugly.
I know. Yeah, I know.
I love you though.
I love you too, buddy. You're really handsome. It very much bothers me.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's just, if you want to run that again, just keep playing that. That's
Yeah,
the
cut that
teaser for
promo
this
one more
episode.
time.
That's
Loop
the
it.
promo for this episode. Tarps off. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. Why not?
Oh,
I'll do like a half. We'll do like a half tarps off because my HOA is like out and about right now. Like they're literally like I can see them down the street.
you got in
Good
trouble
Lord.
because they saw you throw tarps off in your own yard.
We don't know this. We don't know for sure, but I don't want to tempt fate. You know.
Imagine having to explain to people that you got in trouble with the HOA because they saw you take your shirt off and they're like, Jesus Christ, we got to do something about this. Like, we can't have that happen ever
This
again.
man is an
They're
absolute
families.
menace.
His son was right there.
We have a man derobing in his backyard in front of a young child.
Hey, Jerry.
Well, now that Dev's here, we should have him explain every single one of his picks. Because
Oh, yeah, this will be good.
So you can start with the Atlantic.
If
Talk
it
us
makes
through
you
it.
feel better, Dev, Jessi made all of hers hungover on Tito because Tito is the inferior vodka.
That's true. Yeah. Shit compared to
And-
Northland.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I'm looking at Jessi's picks. Did she forget that half of the Bruins retired?
Yes.
Shut
Okay,
up,
cool.
dude. Fuck you. I think it's perfect.
I mean, like, you know, I say that, but I also like there's a world where they finish first. They're really good. You know, what's the line? The Bruins always find a way. Yeah. Okay. So what do you want to do? But you want me to just defend saying the Leafs going first?
No, 'cause I think everyone's just
Yeah.
talk about your picks. What were the ones that like really gave you pause, if any? What were the big decisions you made?
So with the Atlantic Division, I truly believe this. I was telling Hoppy, I can make a case for pretty much any one of those teams making the playoffs. You know, the one I'm probably going to get the most grief for is Montreal because I feel like everybody kind of sees them as like 2 or 3 years away. But there's a world where they step up. I'm a firm believer. I am absolutely picking up what Marty St. Louis is putting down. So I'm a big fan of that. You know, if we're kind of working our way out, the Wings, I have the Wings last, but like with like the caveat of like last in the Atlantic is probably going to be like 82 points. You know, I don't think there's like any bad teams in this division. I really like what the Florida Panthers are doing. I'm a little bit biased, but to me, excuse me, I'm a little bit biased because I got some friends down there. But to me, the Panthers, I think, are in a position where they can really of what they did last year, and I'll eat my crow. I was not as high on the Paul Maurice hire, and I was pretty openly. I thought it was not a great hire, and for the first 7 or 8 weeks of the season last year, I appeared to be vindicated. And then in end of January, mid-February. They kind of figured it out, and they basically played playoff hockey from like mid-February to all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, because they were so far behind the 8 ball. So I think that they will probably figure out a way to not spot everybody 8 to 12 points. So I like their chances to finish high in that division. Same with the Sabres. Obviously they didn't make the playoffs, but I'm doing this to myself. I do it every year. I get really high on the Sabres in the offseason. I like what they've done, everything, all their different moves. And then they start hot. They win they go like 7-2-2 in their first 11. And, we're all like, oh yeah, the Sabres, they're back. And then they absolutely shit the bed come Christmas time. And for whatever reason, I don't think that's going to happen this year. And I've said that for now 4 years in a row. So this is the year. This is the year that I'm right.
Charm.
Yeah. Nobody. How many years has it been since the Sabres have made it to the playoffs? Like 9, 11, some of that. Never forget. Marlo says he refuses to believe in Buffalo, and I don't fucking blame him. But I'm doing it.
Somebody has to.